Hey everybody, it's Robin and welcome to my channel. Today on the Robin's Nest, I have a pretty pink baby shark cake to share with all of you, and the design is oh so cute. This one's going to be a whole lot of fun, so let's get right into it. So for today's cake, we're starting it with three 6-inch vanilla cake layers, which I've swirled a little bit of chocolate batter into and is also known as marbled. So before I started assembly, as you can see, I leveled out each of my layers so my cake stacks up nice and straight. Now I'm adding a little bit of buttercream to my cake board to attach that first layer of cake with, and that should act as a little bit of a glue. Then we're going to take our piping bag once again, and we are going to pipe a nice thick generous layer of buttercream between each of our layers of cake. And because I don't want any air bubbles forming in between those layers, I'm going to take an offset spatula and we're just going to very carefully smooth this out before applying our next layer. And I actually like to give each layer a good little squish down just to make sure everything is nice and secure. So we're going to go ahead and repeat that same process for however many layers of cake we may be using. And then we are going to take that piping bag, and this is actually full of white American buttercream. I think I forgot to mention that. And we are going to give our cake a nice generous coat so we can seal in all these crumbs. Then we're going to tidy this up a little bit and spread that buttercream out using a small offset spatula, which happens to be one of my favorite tools. It's very small and easy to use, and I just like its maneuverability. It's very handy to me. Okay, so once we finish roughly smoothing out our buttercream, we want to fix it up a little bit better and smooth out those sides a bit. So we're going to take a bench scraper and we are going to hold it at approximately a 45-degree angle and just keep going around and around the cake until we're happy with how it looks. Then we're just going to clean up that top lip a little bit and pop our cake into the fridge to firm it up in preparation for its next coat, which happens to be a gradient of several different shades of pink. So we're going to start with the darkest pink at the bottom, and we're just going to use our small offset spatula to apply that with, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be kind of messy, and you can just kind of be free with it because we want the colors to kind of blend together a little bit anyway. So once we finished with our darker shade on the bottom, we're going to take a little bit lighter shade and we're going to apply that right above the darkest shade of pink until it reaches about 2/3 of the way up. And as I said before, we do not have to make this look pretty. You just want to slather that buttercream on there and get on to that next color, because I want to get to the good part when we smooth this all out and watch that gradient magic happen. But before I do, just in case anybody is curious, I'm going to leave a link to my easy buttercream recipe video down in the description box below, so feel free to check that out. Alright, so once we get our cake completely covered, we're going to switch over to our bench scraper once again so we can start to smooth this out. Now, if you find that your colors aren't blending together as well as you would like, you can take your offset spatula, and where the colors join together, you can kind of swirl them together a little bit and then smooth it out again with the bench scraper. That should do the trick. And doesn't that look awesome, guys? I absolutely love this technique. It is super slick and you can use it for anything. It's so versatile. I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys like it too. So be sure to leave a thumbs up if you do. Alright, next up, I want to show you guys how I like to make letters that are meant to stand on top of the cake. So as you guys can see, I've cut out my letters and my number already, and what we're going to do is take some little pieces of spaghetti and we're going to lay them onto a piece of freshly rolled fondant. Then we're going to place those letters that we've already cut out on top so that the spaghetti is hidden, and because it's freshly rolled, it's still fairly sticky, so it should stick together just fine. But if you find that it's not sticking as well as you would like, you can use a little bit of water in between. And using an X-Acto knife or a craft knife, if you will, we're just going to cut away that excess fondant from our letters, and voila, there you have it. They're ready for the top of our cake. if you choose to leave them as a solid color, that is. But we're going to be making ours gold today. So while my fondant is still sticky, I like to dust them with dry gold dust. Now you can paint them if you like, but I don't like the streaks that it leaves behind and that it takes multiple coats. I prefer the nice soft sheen of the dry dust, but it's a little bit messy, so make sure you have something underneath. Alright, so now that we've finished our lettering, we can move on to our next decorations. We're going to make Baby Shark as a cake topper, and I'm also going to make Mommy and Daddy too, but those are not going to be toppers. They're just going to go on the side of our cake. So they should be much simpler, and once you see me make this little fella, then if you want to make those, you'll know what to do. Alright, so for this little one, what we're going to do is start with a piece of yellow fondant, which we're going to roll out fairly thick, and I'm going to use a stencil to mark off my pattern. Then we're going to cut it out using an X-Acto knife, and it's a very simple design. It should not be very difficult for you guys to do. So next we're going to take a toothpick and press that into some more yellow fondant. Then we're going to take the baby shark pattern that we've already cut and we're going to place that on top, sealing that toothpick in between the two layers of fondant, and then taking our X-Acto knife and trimming any excess away there might be. So now that we have the base for our topper, we can start to add some more detail. So I've rolled out some white fondant very thinly and I've marked off some patterns using my template. Now if you find your fondant to be a little bit sticky, I do recommend letting it dry for a few minutes before you attempt to do any cutting. That will definitely help. And now we're just going to take those little pieces that we've cut and we're going to stick those into place before switching to our next color to give her some little black pupils. And then right after that, we're going to roll out some pink. So with that, we're going to cut her out a mouth, and we're just going to cut some little triangles to give her some little jagged teeth. And to finish off the mouth, we're also going to add a tongue. But before we do, I am going to cut out a cute little bow to make her look extra sweet. Isn't that adorable, guys? I think so, and I really hope you guys do too. And now with our baby shark finished, if you choose to, you can also make mommy and daddy shark, minus the stick of course. So that should be a little easier to do. Now, although this is a pink cake, it is a baby shark cake, so it is an under the sea themed cake, so we need some ocean life. So the first thing I'm going to start making is some seaweed. Now, I want a few pieces to stick off the top of my cake, so we're going to insert some shish kebab sticks inside, so that way we don't have to wait for them to dry. We can just twirl them up and they're ready for the cake. And we're also going to make a whole bunch that don't have sticks in them, so we can just press them onto the side into the buttercream and they will stick to our cake. And now we're just going to finish up our decorations with an assortment of little seashells and starfish in some nice bright pretty colors before finally decorating our cake. So as you guys can see, I made a cute little clamshell for the front to stick our little number 2 on there. And there's mommy and daddy as well. If you guys gave them a go, I hope you had fun with them and they weren't too difficult to make. But if you guys are unsure about anything or have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below, because I will do my best to help you with anything related to cake. Alright, so we're just going to finish up putting on all these decorations, and we're going to add a little bit of sand and our little starfish and our seashells too. And once I get those stuck everywhere I want them, next we're going to pick the placement of our letters, and then we're going to finish it off with our little adorable baby shark topper and some little white bubbles. I always forget this feature and I can't forget this time. They are just so darn cute, and honestly, I really feel like they complete the look. So when it comes to baby shark cakes, if you're familiar with my channel, then you know I have made quite a few. So if pink isn't your color and you're looking for something a little bit different, I actually have 2 or 3 on my channel that are made in blue. So feel free to check those out after this video if you're interested, and I will leave links either at the end of this video or down in the description box down below. Well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, you know what to do. Leave me a big thumbs up and leave me some love in that comment section too. And if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you receive a notification every time I post a new video. Or what's that? You've watched all my videos? You're craving more content? Well, I have the place for you. Hit up my Instagram at the Robin's Nest 83. I have lots of great cake ideas over there that never made the cut to video. So feel free to pop over, check them out, and say hello. I can't wait to hear from you.